Let's get started!
Hey Deadline.
What is it, clever comrade?
I'm just kinda wondering. With all these Deadpool particles all over Gunga Mountain, are they biodegradable? If yes, would they make good fertilizer? If so, then how effective are they? If I sprinkle some of it on this houseplant, would it grow twice as fast? Get it, Deadline? Twice as fast? Get it? Twice?
Clever comrade. Shut the f up and just start the rant.
Okay, whatever. I'm gonna start the rant now. Okay, here we go. MHA chapter 400. It's got a minor character doing awkward fan service, Mr. Demon Lord being an embarrassing punching bag, and Alleyway randomly showing up riding a green goblin hover surfboard. So anyways, do take note that this video will not be a full recap. We are just gonna be ranting about things that don't make sense. Now normally this is the part where I'm supposed to say a little something. But you know what, let's just skip to the actual start instead. Okay. MHA chapter 400. So this chapter begins with these two incredibly minor characters doing incredibly minor character things. As a whole, nothing really much happened here. This little scene is clearly added in just to give these two, and this entire area as well, a proper ending. No rantable stuff here, except the fact that not a single hero died. But then again, the good guys have been repeatedly casually surviving everything in this entire final battle so far. Heroes not dying isn't really even worth ranting about at this point. Now with that said, let's move on to the main content of the chapter. The continuation of the Mecha Superman vs Mr. Demon Lord battle. So with chapter 399 having extremely awesome art, and ultra badass fast paced fight scenes, you'd think chapter 400s would be even way better. But no. Sadly, this is not the case. We just went back to the usual stuff. Here in this chapter the art is not as detailed, and many panels are just zoom shots with no backgrounds. Not to mention Mr. Demon Lord is just back to being an embarrassing pathetic punching bag. In fact, Mr. Demon Lord got shoved so hard back to his usual punching bag role in this chapter, that his massive attacks from 399 just straight up disappeared into thin air. No, seriously, remember the huge creepy faces from the previous chapter? You'd think they would continue the chase on Mecha Superman? Well, no, that ain't going to happen anymore, because they're gone now. They simply disappeared. Hell, even Mecha Superman didn't even comment anything about them. It's like the huge attack never even happened at all in the first place. You know what I think what's happening here with this weird deleting going on? Is that the creator just wants his readers to constantly think that his Demon Lord is nothing but a pathetic punching bag loser. But since he accidentally turned him into an awesome quirk-slinging badass in 399 and people got amazed, he quickly rolled everything back in the next chapter and deleted the big attacks from existence. That way they'll be quickly forgotten and everyone would soon return to laughing at Mr. Demon Lord.
That's the way it has to be.
But anyways, Mr. Demon Lord is not the only one with the bullshits in this chapter. Mecha Superman has them too as well, in the form of his super laser cannon. So over here apparently this super laser attack is inspired by Wonder Woman's super laser attack, which originally involved the stacking of all the lasers from the laser jets into one big ultra laser.
My fellow Americans, I think we all know where this is going, so let's just—
So yeah, this particular super laser attack is inspired by the laser attack that involved the laser jets. Yes, the laser jets, which are currently just flying around the floating fortress and readily available at a single call. But instead of Superman just calling them in to help out and potentially boost the destructive power of his super laser cannon, and maybe even straight up vaporize Mr. Demon Lord right then and there and avoid any further collateral damage. No, he didn't do that. He'd rather play with his toys alone instead, which really makes you wonder if he's even really serious about killing Mr. Demon Lord or not. No, seriously, at this point what's even stopping him from just unleashing his one last remaining class A attack right then and there while his enemy's being pinned down by his super laser? It seems to me that Superman would rather show off than take this fight seriously. But then again, when the plot itself is actively making sure your archenemy is nothing more but a pathetic punching bag, then you can show off all you want because sure as hell he can never kill you, or literally anyone.
I got this!
Also, before I can finally move on to the next rant topic, I'd like to point out that the super laser cannon is being powered up by the nearby power station. And since this particular power station is able to provide power for the cannon, then that means it's currently operational and being used by other people. But still, Superman went all in and drained the entire f***ing power station so much that his laser cannon exploded from overloading. So yeah, he literally just brought in a massive blackout somewhere and just doesn't give a f*** about it for some reason.
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness. Hey!
Anyways, let's move on. So after the laser cannon scene, there's this small scene of some kid from another country reacting to the fight. One thing I find odd in here is this granny's comment. Back in chapter 364, it's talked about how the developed nations are already planning on simping for Super Handyman. Now, while it's not specified what country this is from, but wouldn't first world nations simping would eventually bring about a negative chain reaction across the globe, ultimately affecting everyone on the planet? But then again, as we've seen in this chapter, the creator is willing to remove badass scenes from Mr. Demon Lord just to keep him as the most pathetic punching bag ever. And since this entire scene of the developed nations planning to simp for him is a badass feat, then it's only natural for the creator to delete this as well. This is not canon anymore, which pretty much explains why the granny is not too worried about anything bad happening to them at all. Okay, now let's move on to the final topic, Alleyway's arrival. Now, I'm not going to rant about his hoverboard, not yet. Although I do have something to say about him.
Somebody's going to die tonight.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. This guy's gonna die. I mean, come on. Ever since chapter 379, we've been having villains killing themselves. Villains killing other villains. And villains killing themselves while killing other villains. It's clear that MHA is currently going on a villain extermination on its last few remaining named bad guys. And since this guy's a named villain, then that can only mean one thing.
But now, you're gonna die.
Also, I just gotta ask, how did Alleyway correctly guess that this is Mr. Demon Lord's blood, and not Superman's blood? Isn't Superman the one bleeding out all over the place? Now whatever, it's obvious that Alleyway just knew whose blood that is because plot. Okay, now with all that said, rant over. Hey Deadline.
What is it? Clever, comrade.
I'm just kinda wondering. With all these Deadpool particles all over Gunga Mountain, what happens after they reach the ground? Would they affect the rainwater passing through them and then contaminate the water table? Would that mean everyone living near Gunga Mountain would soon be drinking Deadpool flavored water? Would that be healthy? What the hell do Deadpool particles even taste like anyway? Oh hey there Mrs. Mindlayer, I got some questions here no one's answering. What happens if you mix a jar of Deadpool particles with water and then freeze it? Would it make good ice cream? Would chocolate go well with it?
I'm heading out for a bit.
Hey guys, why does no one want to answer my questions?
It's late in the morning. Stop being creepy.
Okay, whatever. Guess there's only one way to find out.